A few other bands more. To jump on that person's comment, of course you have to have a Western, right, if you're going to show all US films. You rarely see a short film Western these days. It's very rarely made. Of course, this one's sort of a parody of a Western. Very well done. Got some nice laughter from the crowd. Really enjoyed it. Of course, it's the girl that they should be kind of shooting the rubber bands on. Again, not the guys, right? But you want to make the first comment of a few brother bands more?
I mean, I teach this stuff, so I like commenting on it. For me personally, I thought the whole rubber band sequence was way too long. Way too long. It was just extended beyond, all right, we got the joke, and now what? There's no capper to it, there's no out to it, there's no tag to it, there's no nothing to it. And like you said, I totally agree with you. What I'm missing from this is the girl. Where is she?
Yeah. Well, she's there, right, symbolically, but at the same time, you could also argue that the aerial shots, the over-the-top kind of like dramatic effect, is parodying the genre. It's parodying the genre. It's parodying the fight. You know what I mean? So it's like it's extended for a reason to kind of like show how crazy these guys are in a sense. So there's a kind of point to it. There's an argument that there's a point to some pretty good, amazing cinematography for one little scene there. Like really well shot film, like some pretty some crazy aerial shots. So there's some really nice footage in this, and it's a nice little parody, a nice little tone of the film. Of course, the guy's little what do you call that little swizzle stick, and that was like his little extended penis, I guess. And basically, it goes that gentleman in the last row, which is the best prop of the film right there. Go ahead.
I thought it was really funny. As far as extent, he just made me think when he said extending it. I kind of like that it was a little bit longer because of the fact that, it was so ridiculous that these guys are like shooting rubber bands at each other. But then the fact that they kept it going and treated it like it was a gun, that even when they were punching each other and wrestling on the ground, he was trying to like shake the rubber bands out of his hand as if he was like still threatened. And that stuck out in my head, and I thought it was, as a short parody, I thought it was really well done.
Actually, I enjoyed the extended battle scene, and I liked the misfires. And it was kind of parodying the realistic happenings in the battlefield, misfiring weapons and those kind of things. What I was looking for at the end is, like the other gentleman was saying, some kind of a closure to it. I was waiting for another scene where they were maybe in a cemetery burying the fallen warriors, and possibly maybe 3 sisters standing there, triplets.
Actually, that's the sequel of the movie right there. There kind of is an ending where the guy leaves the picture behind, so he's like, in a way, he's kind of done with this girl as well. Like he kind of leaves the picture. If he was with the girl, he kind of keeps the picture. Go ahead.
Commenting on the gentleman who mentioned the length of the rubber band fighting scene. Originally, when I watched it the first time, I did think that some people would think it ran a little bit long, but I believe that the director meant to add a sense of suspense so that you didn't know, was he going to hit him, was he not going to hit him? And as far as the whole fighting sequence, it was meant to basically be a mix of miscellaneous forms of fighting, because we didn't want to stick to just one thing. We wanted to, toss it up a little bit. But yeah, I do understand what he meant by that. It's a good observation, and since then several people have said the same thing, while others did recognize the suspense that came from it.
Yeah, there's 2 arguments to make the point. That's what we're here for.
I thought it was funny, and I mean, it definitely does stick to the Western tropes. And I think one thing that kind of, at least I noticed when it ended, was like, oh, of course, the white guy lived. Like, I thought that was because I did feel suspense. Like, then it's like, okay, he might get shot. This other Hispanic guy's come up and killed 2 other people, but then it's like, oh, I forgot. This is making tropes on Westerns and playing those up. So, yeah, the white guy survived in the end. And the one thing, I mean, I know with it being a smaller budget film, that kind of pulled me out of it though was on his hat it said Grand Canyon. And so like, I noticed that, and I was like, okay, I can let that go, but then it made me look at their clothes a little bit more, and I noticed that their blanket was like a nice, very soft like blanket. It was like, okay, so it just kind of made me look at their outfits a little bit more, and like I think just removing that Grand Canyon thing from his hat would have helped me stay in that film a little bit more. But as a whole, I mean, the drone work and the stuff from the top was really cool, and it was fun. That's what it was supposed to be. You could tell that, I mean, clearly with rubber bands. It was a lot of fun.